Mr. Lewis Ng.
Madam, SMRT commenced a 6-month booster seat pilot program in March last year, but due to the circuit breaker, it was extended to December 2020. About 1,750 taxis were equipped with booster seats for young children. However, the utilization rate for these seats were low as there were very few requests for the booster seat from commuters. The booster seats remain in the taxis, and SMRT will provide further updates on their usage soon. If there are other taxi companies who are keen to conduct such pilots, LTA will be glad to consider. Thank you.
Mr. Lewis Ng.
I thank SPS for the reply, but I'm just concerned that why are we looking at utilization rate versus safety? We know that children are getting injured because they're not in child car seats during the accident. We know that being in a child car seat can reduce the incidence of death by over 50% if you're in a car seat. So I urge MOT to look into this more of a safety issue rather than how many people are going to use it. Second, I know there's a previous MOH reply as well that it is more practical for taxis to not carry the child car seats. And again, I hope we don't look at it as practicality versus safety. And the practicality concerns, I think, are addressed really because nowadays, as I showed SPS, the child car seats are really compact. So it doesn't take up much space. In fact, some of the booster seat can fit under the driver's seat. So there is no issue of practicality. And again, I hope we look at this at the safety angle. For private vehicles, if your child is not in the car seat, you could go to jail for it. But somehow, I find it strange that the same car, same model, now becomes a taxi. The safety considerations just disappear. And I hope SPS can clarify why.
SPS Baey.
Thank the member for his clarification. Well, as always, every policy needs to strike a good balance. In this case, for taxi drivers, the cost and also operational considerations for them, because taxis are used for livelihood. The taxi drivers, they make multiple trips throughout the day, serving the diverse needs of different passengers. So in fact, we came to this position after public consultation with different stakeholders. And of course, naturally, there were a range of views, and one of them, as advocated by Member Lewis Ng, was that there should not be any compromise. So all children on all vehicles must be on a booster seat or seat harness. But taxi operators did highlight the constraints because taxis need to satisfy a boot size requirement for luggage or things carried by passengers. And if you add on to the booster seat required, it may pose a challenge, especially for the new hybrid car models. They tend to have a smaller boot. So I thank the member for showing me a compact booster seat that may be easier to store. But we must also look at if the rule was or the law was implemented on taxis, it means that every child passenger in all taxis must be seated on a booster seat. Okay, so first, it's not feasible for taxis to be fully equipped with different permutations of child restraints to cater to the children that may board the taxi. And also, this current exemption will facilitate taxis to offer street hail service for commuters with young children, because the flag, board, and go nature of street hails will be slowed down when the taxi driver needs to, fix up the booster seat when stopping alongside the road. And this also may lead to some unhappiness among families with multiple young children, because they will need multiple taxis as there may not be sufficient child restraints in a single vehicle or a larger capacity taxi with the various seats. So it means that higher costs will be incurred on the families, and I don't think it's wise to impose this during this current economic situation. But parents have the option of using PHCs, private hire cars, already. They are included in this act. And because PHC is pre-booked, the passenger can indicate up front the seats required, and the drivers have ample notice to prepare the seats for the passengers. Therefore, PHCs are included, and today, most, if not all, parents of young children should be quite savvy in using ride-hailing apps. So therefore, I seek the members and parents' understanding that the current position does offer options and is strike a good balance. Thank you.
Mr. Louis Ng.
I agree with SPS that there is a cost concern, but I hope then it's not the third element where it's cost versus safety. And then I'm speaking up for the private hire drivers as well, that we make it compulsory for them, for PHCs, that they have to be in car seats. Then again, it's a bit strange that then for taxis it's not. The rationale given is that because taxis do street hail. But really, how many street hails are there nowadays for the taxis? I think a lot of them are based on bookings as well. And for parents with young children, I really doubt that in today's context, they would actually do street hail. They would also book the taxis rather than go down on the street and try and flag one down.
SPS.
I thank the member for his push for this, and safety for all people, especially young children, is important. So MOT will continue to monitor the situation. I think while safety is important, but we really also need to consider other implications, especially when it affects the livelihood of people. One option we could look at, I think, if we see that there is a need for it, we could look at maybe what we call ride-hail type of journeys to look into that. But we will continue to consult and work with the different stakeholders as we look into this area. Thank you.